So firstly, Tamanna, thank you so much for taking out time on a Saturday and helping us understand the symptoms of menopause and how as a community or as a platform together we can help the women who are suffering with menopause, because daily we are seeing so many women who are facing a lot of challenges and are not understanding what is happening to them. Firstly, thank you so much for taking out time.
It's absolutely a pleasure and an honor to be here. You know, our passion from Menoveda and myself personally to, just normalize the conversation around menopause and create that unfiltered conversation where women feel more safe and they get the right resources and knowledge about any myths or any other issues that they're facing during this transition. So I'm more than happy to, even on a Saturday and a Sunday, I'll be more than happy. Whenever you'll ask, we'll be there for you.
Thank you so much. I remember the last conversation when we had, and that time you were describing how Menoveda actually started, and it was actually your personal journey, which actually motivated you. And during the course of these few months that passed on, we also had a lot of conversation, a lot of community members who were complaining about having symptoms of as early as a 38-year-old who's facing perimenopausal and menopause-related symptoms. We thought, why not having a discussion which is relevant, and an expert like you who is actually working like day in and day out for menopause. So understanding from you quickly, Tamanna, what are the symptoms of menopause that the females can experience? Because today, 35-year-old is also experiencing perimenopausal symptoms.
Yeah. So I'll take it in two parts. One is that why is the 35-year-old feeling? So the average age of menopause in India is 46 years. We have to first understand that. The average age is 46. The perimenopause, which is the time leading to menopause, starts 8 to 10 years before that. So that is why we are talking about women in their mid-30s or maybe early 40s when they start seeing the symptoms. Now, perimenopause ke bhi two phases hain. First part and second part. First part is because you are busy with your lifestyles and maybe you have young kids and maybe you're working. So because of that, we tend to neglect. These symptoms could be fatigue, these could be insomnia, धीरे धीरे से आपका sleep cycle कम हो रहा है. You would realize कि maybe some weight that you're putting on and it's difficult for you to now get it off. Although you're eating the same food, you're doing the same exercise, there is some stress level that is increasing and creeping in slowly. So that could be the starting point. Now, having said that, the second phase of perimenopause, which is more nearer towards the menopause, is when you will start seeing irregular cycle, because there are ample number of times when women have told us कि मेरी cycle तो बहुत regular है, even at 44 or 48, right? So it's just कि आपको जरूरी नहीं है कि irregular cycle होगी, but हाँ, it is one of those symptoms which is most common. So irregular cycle, maybe joint pain, suddenly आपको frozen shoulder ज़्यादा हो रहा है, maybe the dryness in the skin has suddenly creeped up. Vaginal dryness is another one common symptom that we see during the second half of the perimenopause. So these are some of the symptoms that you can look out for. There are around 40 plus symptoms of perimenopause or menopausal transition. Women usually can recognize 8 to 10. It takes a while for them to know कि अच्छा ये इसलिए हो रहा है. Maybe the increased headaches and migraine that is happening. Maybe the crawly skin एक symptom होता है जिसमें you feel ना कि चीटियां सी चल रही हैं, maybe sensation हो रही है. Or maybe hair fall, we take it like common कि hair fall तो होता ही है. अरे नहीं होता, there has to be a reason. 30s में hair fall, maybe because of the hair treatments that you're taking is happening, but in 40s or 50s, it's happening more because of your hormonal imbalance. And then there are other symptoms like altered skin or sudden pigmentation and weight gain, bloating, gut health issues, IBS, more frequent UTIs. So these are some other symptoms that can happen. So 40 plus symptoms, but the best thing is that after mid-30s, after 35 onwards, moment you start noticing any symptom that is not explainable or you think is happening out of the book or you've not experienced it before, you should consider perimenopausal phase as one of the reason why it is happening.
True. I think someone has messaged us also, Neha Junjunwala. She's a member from Jaipur and she's messaged us that it's irritation, anger burst, mood swings, hair fall that she's experiencing. And weight gain.
Yes, absolutely, Neha. Yes, weight gain, so it's given कि weight gain तो होगा ही होगा, but that's not a fact. Yes, होता है. Irritation, anger burst, mood swings, it's absolutely, when we did a survey with 20,000 women across tier 1 to 3, and we released India's first report on menopause, we realized that almost more than 80% women felt that their mental health is the most affected one. और बहुत छोटी छोटी बातें हैं, गुस्सा estrogen is fluctuating. So there are three major hormones: estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. Most of the time, experts only talk about, or they only ask कि estrogen check कर लो, estrogen fluctuate कर रहा है. But estrogen dominance is also a problem. Estrogen नीचे आना is also a problem. Progesterone and testosterone are declining after 35. Estrogen is fluctuating. Hence, that fluctuation or the gap between estrogen and progesterone is leading to this. Vasomotor symptoms like hot flashes, mood swings, anxiety, palpitation, irritability are absolutely common, और ये होता है इस time पे.
Yes, so we have another woman, I think she's saying that I have a severe nausea, loss of appetite, depression, anxiety, severe muscle pain, but my cycles are normal.
Yes, absolutely. So that's why I said, you know, at times we have seen there's a pattern that the cycles are normal. So hence when a healthcare provider may say कि आपकी cycle normal है, अभी आप नहीं हो perimenopause में या menopause का time नहीं है, that is not the right thing. It's if after 35 you're feeling any of these symptoms, it is going to be most probably perimenopausal symptoms because our hormones are fluctuating and because of the given average age. Yes, we see a lot of nausea, headaches, migraine. Loss of appetite is simply because if I were to evaluate it from Ayurvedic perspective, Vata, Kapha and Pitta, it just goes for a toss, and hence loss of appetite could also be because you're gaining weight and then you feel what? Depression and anxiety, she's already mentioned, severe muscle pain. So what happens is that you are not in that zone mentally and आप जो खा भी रहे हो body में लग नहीं रहा. That is the problem. We keep telling women that you have to be selfish to take care of yourself. आपको करना पड़ेगा अपने लिए और अपने से ज्यादा एक्चुअली ये फैमिली के लिए हो रहा है बिकॉज द वे यू कैन टेक केयर ऑफ योर फैमिली विल नॉट बी मे नॉट बी एबल टू टेक केयर ऑफ you like that. So it's very important, get out of it, and please, it's a request, I think, until unless it's a very severe case, don't fall for antidepressant or sleeping pills. They are habit forming and they cause lot of side effects in your body. Try and go for natural solutions for this natural transition. There are so much that you could do. And that's why it's important to love yourself first and understand what's happening. Speak to experts, speak to people, speak to your family members, tell them what's happening. Even though communication शुरू में मुश्किल होगा, शायद उनको समझ ही नहीं आया कि आपका क्या हो रहा है. You may become a laughing stock. Brain fog इतना common symptom है. आप मानो कि हम जोक करते हैं कि मम्मी भूल जाती है या हमें खुद लगता है we are scared कि फ्रिज खोला and क्या करने के लिए आए थे and all those things. So it's very difficult and it's at times it's very frustrating. So please don't ignore any of these symptoms.
So I think that when you're talking about the role of family, so what is, because we have seen, and even while doing the research for the topic, I saw that many women have said that they have to, their jobs were lost because they were mentally not in that zone, and nobody was understanding, both at the workplace and also in the families, like we have also seen. So now I can experience, like after listening so much, like my mom during her menopause time was having this thing, but at that time there was no like communication, no conversations or voices were coming out that we know that something relevant to menopause or something is there. So now, since now we are talking about it, a lot of voices are coming out. What is the role of family and as a society that we can give a support to these females who are experiencing menopause, and also at the workplace level, what kind of policy should be there?
Yeah, so two parts to it. I think the reason why we get to hear this कि तुम पहले नहीं हो, we as a society we tell them कि अच्छा तुम पहले नहीं हो जिसका ये हो रहा है, 2-3 साल की बात है, झेल लो. All these other narratives that have been passed on over the generation. See, imagine when we were young enough, when we were around 8 or between 8 to 12, when we had our first period, we were very pampered, or we were, in fact, the southern part of India, it's actually celebrated, right?
Yes.
And it's a moment then when you are given that kind of nutrition, or you're asked to take care of yourself, and you're given all the gyan around period health and pads and everything else. Then you grow up, you get married, or when you have kid. तो उस टाइम पे भी 9 months you are really taken care of pregnancy के टाइम पे, and postpartum में भी अच्छा ध्यान रखा जाता है. At least that's what as a country or as a society we do that, right? But उसके बाद हमें कोई नहीं बताता कि क्या हो रहा है. The facts are, or the thing is that every woman on planet will undergo menopause at some point in her life, right? And she'll be spending 1/3 of her life. Yet by the time we reach there, जब हम अपने 20s 30s में बच्चे पाल रहे होते हैं और अपने काम में लगे होते हैं, we tend to neglect those. और हमारी mothers भी age हो रही होती है, उनका वो phase निकल जाता है. By the time we reach our 40s, they are in their 60s, right? 60s to 70s. They have forgotten how the experience was. एंड उस टाइम पे वी आर नॉट लिविंग अ मदर्स लाइफ. उस टाइम पे द जॉइंट फैमिली या घर में कोई और है जिसने कर लिया, या फिर इस बारे में बात नहीं करो, सोसाइटी का ग्रूमिंग ही वैसा था. नाउ women are more than aware, they are ready to spend on themselves, they understand कि झेलना क्यों है, 21st century में झेलना क्यों है. There are so many options and that's why it's important to normalize the conversation. That's why it's important to talk about it. एक reason और भी है that we found in our survey कि इंडिया जब इंडिपेंडेंट हुआ था, विमेन की जो एवरेज लाइफ स्पैन एज जो थी वो 37-38 ईयर्स थी. अभी हम 72 से 75 के बीच में जी रहे हैं. वी आर आउटलिविंग मेन इन मोस्ट ऑफ द केसेस. So you have to understand women were not living beyond post menopause to tell what's happening. अब क्या होगा when you hit menopause, which is practically 12 months without period and that one day, and then rest of your life in post menopause, you will be without estrogen, progesterone, and your other hormones. And estrogen आपके brain receptor, मतलब हर body के हर receptor में, from brain to your toe, it is responsible for all the major functions. So our body will be living with it for almost 25 to 30 years. Body is also evolution body का भी हो रहा है. You know, we are also getting to know what is to be done. And at 40 actually अभी mid life आ गई है. पहले 40s 60s used to be old. आजकल अगर 70s 75 तक आप जी रहे हो तो 40-45 is actually the middle age. You know.
Yes, and
So
many
I
people
think
are
as a
now
society it's
are in
important.
the pregnancy phase also. We have seen like so many actresses, and even a lot of people are like having a second pregnancy during that time.
Absolutely, and that's one of the case why now a lot of perimenopausal women are going to have these young kids and as well as have their own symptoms. So imagine when you're having a mood swing and anxiety and palpitation, and same time you also have a young kid in the house, it's going to get more difficult for them. That's why mental health and physical health is really going to be affected. Coming back to the society point, I think it's very important. See, again, if we were not taught, our husbands who are 3 to 5 years elder to us in age, usually, abhi jo trend tha last wala, they also don't know about it. It was not okay to speak to them about the menstrual health or what's happening, right? So they're also clueless. So we also got that review from a lot of men or husbands or partners saying that कि यार हमें बताओ क्या करना है, क्योंकि झेलना हमें पड़ता है, you know. तो हमें बताओ, because we feel sad when she cries, or we don't know why she's crying, or why she's having a mood swing, or suddenly she's very happy and then she doesn't want to go for a party. You know, so what is that we can do? And poor guys are also undergoing andropause at the same time, right? That nobody's talking about. That's a different topic altogether. But I think it's very important for them to know this. I also feel the youngsters who are now in their 20s, when I do this conversation with them, most of them say ki, A, of course, they don't understand what is menopause. Second, they think they're too young for it. The problem is when you are in your 20s, your mother would probably be in her mid 40s or early 50s, right? So far, so good. But जब आप 40 के होगे तो mother 60-65 की होगी. If you will miss these symptoms in her now for a mental health or physical health or dermal health or sexual health, the problem is कि वो फिर chronic disease में बदलेगा और फिर आपको ही wheelchair को धक्का देना पड़ेगा, because she has lost her bone mass, she has lost her bone density, or maybe she's getting too many fractures, or she's developed osteoporosis or arthritis, and you have missed those symptoms while in 40 or 50 she was suffering. So that is why it is important to now take care, because you are the healthcare provider at the end of the day. And at the workplace, yes, again, no policies are there. We have spoken to so many HRs and other big firms also. But the normalization of the conversation is still not there. They feel कि अच्छा एक और चीज है, अच्छा हमें ये भी देखना है. अभी तो पीरियड की छुट्टी की बात कर रहे थे, you know. So it's for them it's more confusing. I think the HR needs to be trained. They also need to be told. And हम working women का एक जो concept है ना, I also feel, you know, what happens is कि our concept is कि corporate वाले. But see, for me, working women is anybody, एक जिसका salon owner है, एक boutique owner है, एक lecturer है या स्कूल में senior classes को पढ़ाती है. They are the ones who are getting suffered. वो एक teenager के साथ deal भी कर रही है और उसके hot flashes और mood swings भी हो रही है, which nobody is understanding. The only way she is labeled is कि वो cranky वाली teacher है, वो मैम है ना, वो ऐसी है, पूरे टाइम चिक चिक करती है, you know. True. That's what not is okay. You need to understand why she is doing it. Go a step deeper to understand that. So at workplace, I think it's very very important कि आप देखो जो वही टीचर्स हैं जो पीछे पीरियड हेल्थ के बारे में या मेंस्ट्रुएशन के बारे में या सेक्स हेल्थ के बारे में बात कर रही हैं, बच्चों को पढ़ा रही हैं, लेकिन उनकी खुद की हेल्थ के लिए nobody is doing anything. So that's very important. And workplace, even in corporates, I think workshops and normalization has to be there. And it is just not कि अगर आप 45 plus हो, then only you should attend it. Or and you would know at any age 5 people who are undergoing perimenopause or menopausal symptoms in your life. And it's not even till menopause. See, nobody's even talking about post-menopause, which is the elderly care.
Yes.
So the next
Yes.
3 to 4 years till your body settle down, the post-menopause is also very important.
Yes.
So yeah, very, very important to take care of, talk about it.
No, it is indeed an eye-opening thing because because the kind of work that you are doing at Menoveda and the surveys and everything. So it gives us a great insight to all of us, because I'm sure there are a lot of people today are engaging and they're asking also. I think Anita just asked. She's a member from Noida and she's asking that is there any test through which we can detect perimenopause? Because now I think the conversation and people are now engaging more to understand the symptoms that they're experiencing.
Yes. So there is a myth. Actually, there is no confirmatory test for menopause. First of all, it could be only for post menopause. पर जब तक आप उस फेज को 12 महीने और 1 दिन पीरियड नहीं हुआ है, उसके बाद आप वो कंफर्मेटरी टेस्ट कर सकते हो. मार्केट में अभी आजकल बहुत सारे टेस्ट हैं जो क्लेम करते हैं कि यू वुड नो विच स्टेज, बट नो until and unless you get your hormones tested specifically कि आप hormone test करा रहे हो, FSH is one, but otherwise also estrogen, progesterone, आप specific वो test करा रहे हो. एंड उसमें भी आपको सिर्फ लेवल कम पता लगेगा. आज मैं मॉर्निंग में वो टेस्ट कराती हूँ, शाम को कराती हूँ, माय लेवल्स कुड बी कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट. मॉर्निंग यू मे डिक्लेयर कि मैं पेरीमेनोपॉज या मेनोपॉज एकदम पहुंचने वाली हूँ, शाम को आप मुझे बोलोगे you are in at the peak of your fertility. So that's why, because of the hormone fluctuation, there is no confirmatory test for perimenopause. Post-menopause की confirmatory है. There could be there is another question which says what could be the first symptom, because I'm not sure if I'm going through this phase. If you are over 35 and if you are feeling symptoms, any of these, there is a list even at Menoveda, you can find that list, or you can speak to our coaches and experts. But if you have any of those symptoms, you are most probably feeling the earlier symptoms of perimenopause. It is symptom based. That is why you need to look at the symptoms. And I would also like to add one thing here. And again, it's not about being against science or something like that. Our healthcare providers, our physicians, or our doctors are not trained in menopause. Even gynecologists do not have a chapter on menopause. So that's the problem, that a phase which every woman will undergo, she'll be spending 1/3 of her life, yet our healthcare providers are not trained specifically for that. Now there is a change. We see a lot of doctors now getting into that space of menopause or trying to become an expert. They're upgrading themselves, which is absolutely great. But it's far away from regular doctor to know. Agar aap typically, so in my case at 42, I started feeling anxiety, depression, mood swings. I could not sleep well. I was putting on weight. Well, I was always a healthy child, but I was still putting on weight. I was losing my hair. I had vaginal dryness. And I had this, suddenly a lot of dryness of eyes. I visited my doctor, who recommended me to another 4 set of doctors. मैम कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट देखना है क्योंकि पैल्पिटेशन, एंजाइटी बहुत ज्यादा है, नींद नहीं आ रही है आपको. गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट देखना है बिकॉज वजाइनल ड्राइनेस हो रही है, कोई इन्फेक्शन ना हो. He got the sonography and other tests done. He asked me to see an ortho and a dietitian to help me. 4 doctors down, 6 months with all the tests, all reports were fine. The only thing given to me was multivitamins, sleeping pills, and anxiety pills. It's crazy. It does not work like that, because all symptoms are completely different and they require different kind of effort to look into that. So that's why I'm saying it's really important कि most probably in your 42, 44, when you reach out to your doctor, until unless you tell them कि irregular period है, तब तक वो आपको perimenopause बोलेंगे नहीं. It is only in 48, 49 they will say हाँ शायद आप menopause का time आ रहा है इसलिए हो रहा है, which is not right. It is from mid 30s or early 40s where your perimenopausal symptoms will start, because the average age is 46 as per Indian Menopause Society.
Okay. And that's the reason a lot of times, because as you have mentioned, it's an eye-opening for all of us, and even Les Prachi has just mentioned, thank you, now I can see what is happening with me and my sis who is 42 plus. So I think that those conversations are normalizing, as you have said, they're themselves not updated, and because of which a lot of us are facing, but thanks to you, the platforms like you who are working towards menopause. So understanding from you, like what all things, and what kind of support and Menoveda one can have, especially when a female is experiencing perimenopause or menopause.
Okay. Before I just go into that, just one addition here. Like somebody said, my own mother struggled with it, and I told her it could be perimenopause.
Yes.
You're absolutely right. Most of the time, mothers are missing it.
Yeah.
Yes. And the thing is that earlier it used to be 70% hereditary and 30% lifestyle. Now it is the other way. 30% is your hereditary. So if your mother had early menopause, you would also probably have an early menopause. But your lifestyle is a major thing. So what needs to be done is take care of your lifestyle. You need to change it. What was happening before is not going to work now, and your body needs to adapt. A healthy lifestyle, which means eating well, sleeping in time, less screen time, more me time, pick up a hobby, whatever makes you happy. Start giving more, imparting more knowledge to society and to younger generation. That is what you need to do. Nutrition is super, super important. And then what can be done and what we do at Menoveda. Menoveda is India's first menopause only brand, and we use the word only because there are a lot of brands who are into PCOD, PCOS, fertility, and menopause just happens to be one topic for them, or maybe just one product. We realized that there are no safer options that actually work on the root cause. The journal solutions that were given is one size fit all, as I mentioned in my case, कि एक गोली दे दो सब कुछ हो जाएगा, नहीं चलेगा. Multivitamins will not work for you at this point of time. Secondly, there is HRT, hormone replacement therapy, which is still debatable in the market and among the medical fraternity itself. Hence, those who are looking for natural solutions, HRT definitely is not an option to consider. And then there are soya products. Soya hampers with gut health, especially if you have thyroid or if you have had previous condition of some kind of cancer. So only because of that, we wanted to give products that are safer, better, and actually works on the root cause. Hence, our products are soya-free, gluten-free, sugar-free, hormone-free, no toxins and no heavy metals. We check every batch for that. We are clinically tested brand and we are science-backed. So in terms of safety, efficacy, the product is going to be awesome. We have divided your symptoms into 4 major categories. Mental and emotional health, that is one. Then is your physical health. Then is your dermal health. And then is your sexual health. Actually, nobody is even talking about sexual health here. And I would like to take this platform because sexual health, if you're 40 to 44, the loss of libido, which is a common symptom which happens during this time, or vaginal dryness or painful sex, women are not discussing that with doctors or even their peers or even with their friends. And they feel a bit, awkward because that's how we have been raised. At least
that's the conditioning,
this
basically. That's the conditioning, and that conversation has to be normalized.
Yes. And when you're young at 40, or even at mid 40, or you're just a young parent, the problem is that even the husband is quite active, and that is where it is causing a lot of friction between the partners. Just you're saying no, or you're not doing it, or whatever. So that is causing a lot of friction between the marriages. We have seen a lot of people complaining about that. So what we do is that we have counselors, we have menopause coaches, we have doctors at our place. If you know a symptom, you could visit Menoveda. You could just order and customize your box. If you are still confused, you could take a quiz from our website, which will help you to customize that box. And if you want to speak to an expert, because if you have more concerns or if there's any other thing, you could speak to our coaches, menopause coaches. They're all certified from UK. Like even I'm a certified menopause coach. And you can also speak to a doctor just to help us understand that what is the problem. See, menopause is not a disease, so we are not curing anything. We are going to make it easy. I would also like to point out one thing. A lot of time women say कि मैंने 2 महीने खाई, मेरे hot flashes बंद हो गए, मेरे को mood swing नहीं हो रहे, I don't want to continue. The problem is कि आपके एस्ट्रोजन जब तक आप पोस्ट मेनोपॉज में 2-3 साल तक बॉडी सेट नहीं हो जाएंगी, ऊपर नीचे होंगे. आपको हमारे सप्लीमेंट्स खा के बंद होंगे सिम्टम्स? यस, बंद होंगे. क्या लाइफ भर के लिए बंद होंगे? नहीं, जब तक आपकी बॉडी सेट नहीं होगी. तो मे बी यू आर कमिंग इन नेगेटिव टू अस. हम पहले आपको माइनस से 0 पे लाते हैं, फिर 0 से ऊपर छोड़ते हैं. So you should continue for 3 to 6 months. That's what I'm saying. You should be selfish to love yourself. And उसके बाद में जब फिर symptom आए, it could be after 6 months, it could be after 1 year, maybe after 3 years. Then you should again start having. And what we are giving you is basically, these are all Ayurvedic supplements. One also has to understand कि आप ले क्या रहे हो. These are phytoestrogens. Plant के अंदर जो estrogen होता है, that is what we are giving you. They have no side effects. हम हल्दी, अश्वगंधा, मोरिंगा, एज अ कंट्री हम इतना ज्यादा कंज्यूम करते हैं, उसी को फॉर्मुलेट किया गया है ताकि आपकी बॉडी में बेटर न्यूट्रिशन आ जाए और आपको जो चाहिए वो आप ले सकें. सो इट्स जस्ट दैट, इट्स जस्ट लॉजिकल एंड कॉमन सेंस. एंड डोंट थिंक कि अरे ये तो हम अलग से ले लेंगे, कुछ कर लेंगे. Lot of effort, lot of research, lot of R&D has been gone, lot of R&D investment has been done. So what we are giving you, we have worked on it. So have faith. It's going to be a beautiful journey. झेलने का नहीं है. Let's make menopause awesome.
True. True. I think the speech that just mentioned, the speech from Gurgaon, she's mentioned, it is my 3rd year in perimenopause. Every year I get a bad phase of 2 months.
Yeah, actually that's what the thing is now. So the perimenopause can last from 8 to 12 years. That is the thing. So earlier the better. इसलिए 35 onwards अपना ध्यान रखना start करो. Suddenly, after 35, 40, we should be gifting each other those health books or e-books, or download those e-books from our platform. That hey, you need to read this. This is what is going to happen. If you're prepared, आपको पता है exam 1 महीने बाद, you can prepare ना. अब surprise test में फिर fail ही होंगे सारे. Until we know the teacher well.
We give so many gifts, but why not gifting the health gift? And when you are saying it's there on your platform, also a lot of ebooks are there. So I think that awareness is still not there, and that's the reason we thought why not having a session on menopause. And now since I am just about to be 35 in another 2 months, so I think now I also have to start thinking of myself, because as sooner as possible it's good, because that's the awareness now today I'm also getting from you.
Yes. There is no harm, no. You're just taking care of yourself. अगर आपके पास already deposit है, then you can spend. Deposit ही नहीं है, आप minus में credit card minus में चलता जाएगा. So it is going to be painful. And it's very also important कि like you said, हम लोग recipes discuss करते हैं. अच्छा movie कौन सी देखी, ये साड़ी कहाँ से ली, jewelry कहाँ से खरीदी. Why don't we discuss this? Yeah, I'm having a low time. I'm having a lot of mood swings. I'm having a fight with my partner. It's very getting difficult for me. ब्रेन फॉग को हम बहुत लाइटली ले रहे हैं, बट दैट इज व्हाई द हाईएस्ट नंबर ऑफ डिमेंशिया एंड अल्जाइमर केसेस इन विमेन इन 60s to 70s इज हैपनिंग इन इंडिया. हाईएस्ट नंबर ऑफ हार्ट अटैक्स इन विमेन बिटवीन 40 to 55 की एज में. तो हाईएस्ट नंबर ऑफ विमेन लीविंग जॉब्स, हम उसको बोल देते हैं कि पोस्टपार्टम की वजह से दे आर नॉट कमिंग बैक, बट वो पोस्टपार्टम के बाद में वो पेरीमेनोपॉज के सिम्पटम में चले गए, देन शी इज फीलिंग डिप्रेस्ड एंड शी इज नॉट जॉइनिंग. सो एवरीथिंग इज रिलेटेड. Just look at it from a lens which is more logical and not from an emotional point of view.
True. Very true. I think it's again a very insightful session with you. And before we end the session, 3 tips, though of course you have given so many tips to us, but 3 tips that every woman, like as you mentioned, 35, we should follow. And I think there's someone who, there is Shipra, who's again from Noida. She said Shatavari has helped a lot to lower the intensity of perimenopause. I don't know.
Shatavari, yes, Shatavari, it works well. Shatavari is actually one of the miracle herbs in Ayurveda. It works very well even on irregular periods. So even for PCOD, PCOS conditions, Shatavari is given in Ayurveda. But that is the problem. See, Shatavari works very well. If you were to take only Shatavari, will it work? May not. The exact amount that is required, and with other herbs, and the combination of that. इट्स जस्ट कि आपके पास मसाले हैं, पनीर है, शिमला मिर्च है, जब तक आप उनको इकट्ठा नहीं करोगे, मैरिनेट नहीं करोगे, बनाओगे नहीं, द होल डिश itself will not come. Yes, you can consume everything, ki salt dala, pepper dala, you can just have paneer and shimla mirch roasted or something like that. So what I'm trying to say is there are options that you can look for. There are definitely non-hormonal solutions that are there, but pick what is best. A lot of women, just because they've gained weight, they get into these shakes which is super crazy. And जब उनसे पूछो कि thyroid है तो है. A survey showed that almost 67% women in India above the age of 40 have some kind of thyroid issue, hyper. The problem is if you have thyroid, the soya products or soya shakes will not work. आप 3 साल से वो soya के shakes और popular brands आप ले रहे हो, and then you are saying कि मुझे bloating हो रही है, मुझे IBS है, मैं weight नहीं lose कर रही हूँ. Weight lose हो गया, but then there are 10 other conditions that has happened. So don't overload your system, So just be mindful as to what you're consuming, what's important, and long-term जो आप जिंदगी भर कर सको. That's very important. Coming back to your 3 points, I think first is self-love. You guard बांध लो, आपसे ज़्यादा आपकी कोई देखभाल नहीं कर सकता. Nobody will take care of you the way you can take care of your parents, your in-laws, your husband, your kids. वो आपकी ऐसा ध्यान नहीं रख सकते. एग्जाम्पल टेस्ट करना है ना, इफ योर हस्बैंड वर टू टेल यू कि 3 दिन छुट्टी पे चलते हैं, कैन यू पैक अ सूटकेस, यू विल डू इट. सारे कपड़े रख के आप उनको बोलो 3 दिन चल रहे, मीट मी एट द स्टेशन, प्लीज पैक फॉर मी. कौन सा शर्ट, कौन सी सलवार, कौन सी पैंट, कौन सी ज्वेलरी आएगी, आपको खुद नहीं पता. आप एक्सप्लेन ही करते रह जाओगे कि अच्छा वो वहां रखा है, उसको पैक कर दो, वो चाहिए मुझे, वो चाहिए. So there are small things, and we women just tend to take over things, and then we feel कि हम ही कर रहे हैं, पर हमने खुद ही वो सारा पंगा लिया है. तो हम ही कर रहे हैं, तो we also need to take care of our health. So be selfish, understand menopause is a natural solution. It's a natural transition, sorry, and you need to just sail through it beautifully, gracefully. That's very important. Second is talk to people, talk to experts, talk to your family member, talk to somebody whom you feel comfortable with, because your mental health and physical health is the biggest that is going to be affected. And there'll be times when you'll be confused, you'll be scared, you will be lost, you will also feel frustrated and irritated that what is happening with your body. It's absolutely fine. Just know that it is fine, but speak to somebody so that you can get that kind of help. And third, I think nutrition, exercise, meditation, food is super important. So take care of that in that particular section. Be mindful to what you're eating. अच्छी चीजें खाओ जो बॉडी में लगे. Just don't eat for the sake of that you're eating. Lot of time women tell us कि मैं तो पूरे दिन कुछ खाती नहीं. जब हम बोलते हैं आप लिखो, तो then they realize कि 3 दिन में क्या क्या खाया और किस टाइम पे खाया. So just be mindful of what you're eating. It will make amazing difference in your life.
So thank you so much, Tamanna, for joining us today. It is indeed, and I'm seeing so many amazing comments. So it's indeed a very insightful session and very eye-opening session for all of us, because yes, we don't have any awareness within our families. We're not talking about it. We are not just normalizing the thing that अच्छा ये होता है, but not normalizing conversations जो हमारे साथ हो रहा है. So thank you so much for giving us that insight, and looking forward to more such insightful sessions with you. But thank you so much for today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, and happy to help. And in case somebody needs more help, they can reach us out at menoveda.com, or they can speak to our experts, book a consultation, which is absolutely complimentary. So let's just normalize the conversation. Thank you so much for being part of this, big thing that we're trying to achieve. Thank you so much. Thanks, Atik.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So this was Tamanna Singh, who is a founder at Menoveda, and I'm sure from your comments I can see that how informative it was for all of you. So let's make this conversations normalize, and let's come up with another sessions, and let's talk about health also, because a lot of us are meeting in persons these days. So let's normalize these conversations. Thank you so much for all of you joining us.